going and changing.
They're gonna take the point.
Absolutely not. You have a U.S. ambassador.
You ready to film this shit?
Welcome back, Comanche Killers.
What up?
Today, we're going to go over a subject called 10-second gun. What does a 10-second gun and my bed life have in common?
It's quick.
It's the same amount of time. All right, so 10-second gun, we came up with that, what it means to us. Kind of in some of our previous videos, we talk about all these niche and specific categories of all these guns. And you've got SPR, DMR, Recce, Mini Recce,
APR,
APR,
APP.
I have 15% APR. You've got GPR, all these different things. And the closest one that our guns could come to of that is going to be the GPR, but it's not a general purpose rifle. To me, the 10-second gun is shit's hitting the fan, shit's going down. Like the windows in your house just blew in and it's time to leave, bug out. You're getting yourself, your family, if you got one. What gun do you grab without even thinking about it?
Oh, but what about, are they slow zombies or are they fast zombies?
Yeah, we've asked this question to a whole lot of people, and hey, your windows in your house just blew in, exploded, shit's on fire. What gun do you grab? They always rebuttal it with a question. Well, I mean, do I need to leave? Do I have to take my family? How much time do I have? Like, you're already dead.
It's a bunch of bullshit.
You're already dead because you couldn't answer it. You have 10 seconds. Which gun do you grab that you know that you can do work with? And that's what today's video is about. That being said, just like all the other shills on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment, do all that. I never really thought it meant a crap, but apparently in the last video, that helped sends the video further. So, heck yeah, do all that stuff. Say stupid shit in the comments. I don't care. I think they're hilarious.
Also, this video is brought to you by Roman. You can get it delivered to your house to help treat your ED.
for when you can't get your 10-second gun up. I was like, what is ramen? Ramen?
So what we're going to discuss is, yeah, there's a couple of different things out there, but everything I won't say will be, it's not mission specific. It's related to what your geological area is. Are you inner city? Are you rural? You know, your general purpose 10-second gun to us is, it's going to be conducive to what you have in front of you. So if you're living in downtown Dallas, your setup may look completely different than what ours may look like. We live in a
rural
area.
Rural.
That, you know, our population is low, but you still kind of want something that if I have to go clear out for provisions at a local grocery store, no matter what the situation may be, that you have that, or if you need to reach out and maybe touch something, whether it be game, two-legged people, anything like that, that you have that same setup as well too.
Yeah, like if you live in the city, I wouldn't want a big ass gun.
Yeah.
So my setup is going to be like an AR pistol, like 10-3 red dot, and a flashlight. You can get in and out of cars quicker, moving around structure. Like if you live in a big city and shit goes down, your main priority is just to get the fuck out.
Absolutely, that'd be mine.
But yeah, our region that we're at, we don't really have to worry about big cities, so it's going to be mainly like longer stretches. We still want the capability to do stuff up close, you know, for if you need to get provisions or if you need to get a loved one out of a sticky situation. It's always good to have that absolute minimum base covered on your setup, but you do want the ability to reach out if the rest of your setup.
Yeah. Absolutely. You know, to me, even being able to have the capability of doing a vehicular assault from there or out of a vehicle, being able to be maneuverable, things like that. You know, that's why I'm able to get away, and we'll show you our setups here in a little bit, but that's why I'm able to get away with what I have is, you know, it fits what I need it to do. And that's the biggest thing. And as long as people realize what they need, that's great, because not everyone's going to be the same setup.
And that, and another thing is, like, a lot of people think that when you're building a rifle out in your gear, you know, they'll watch a couple of videos and be like, hey, that works for him, that's what I want.
Yeah.
And then they buy it and they're like, well, it doesn't work that great. How come? Take everything we say with a grain of salt. The best thing that you can do is go out and try stuff out for yourself. And if you don't like it, get something else. Like, I am an absolute gear whore, and I've gone through I don't know how many optics in the past couple of years, and flashlights and slings and all that, because I'm OCD with, like, if it doesn't feel perfect and if it doesn't give me the results downrange that I want, then I don't want it.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, if you live in an inner city and you want to have a scope that reaches out to the moon and back and you can do work with it, then by God, run that scope.
That's the main thing. As long as you're able to do work with it, you're comfortable, you're familiar, you're proficient. That is the biggest thing. Most everybody's running around here with a Daniel Defense
or a BCM.
Yeah, or a BCM. You don't need a $2,000 rifle. Most of y'all need a $500 rifle and $2,000 worth of training, from what I can see on YouTube.
True.
Hot Pockets are done.
From here, we're going to go into our individual rifle setups and show you what we're working with.
So, go ahead and clear this.
Move my drink so I don't knock it over and have to go, my drink! Oh! Also, if you need to pee, there's a restroom. Or you can just pee behind us. It's whatever you want to do.
No pee-pee curtain.
Yeah, so 10-second gun. A lot of people are going to try and throw it in the same category as a GPR. I think they're different. As far as my setup goes, like we were talking about, absolute zero, minimum distance up to there's what the round is capable of reaching out to. Everybody's like, oh, mine's effective up to 800 yards. If you've never shot 5.56, especially 55 grainers, like I gotta really want to shoot something at 300 yards to really mess with that. So for me, comfortably, I'm like 250. But that also goes into like what you're shooting at and why. And if we're talking about shit hits the fan, then if I'm far enough away to where I can run away, that's what I'm gonna do.
Absolutely. You know, I think that's a big deal too, and me and him's talked about it. You know, what am I willing to give up my position at, and what for? You know, even whenever we make our final destination, you know, for the big, huge fucking shit show that could potentially happen, well, guess what? If somebody's moving on their business and they're 200-300 yards out, am I willing to give away my position? Especially if there's more than one threat?
Yeah.
Probably not. You know, and if I'm willing to take that shot, and especially if you have a stash or a cache of anything else like that, well, guess what? If you're willing to shoot at it, then they're willing to take it because it's probably something good.
Yeah, just because you just see one guy doesn't mean that that's all that there is.
Absolutely.
On my rig, cheapo Magpul stock, Magpul K2, the rubbery one. I run a bab lever, speeds my reloads up. I do run a flashlight, tack light, whatever you want to call it, with a pressure pad. And as far as lumens go, a lot of guys get tripped up on like wanting the brightest stuff. If I'm using a flashlight, it's primarily for indoors, and unless you've turned all the lights off in your house and then went and cleared it with your flashlight, it bounces off a lot of stuff. So overshine is a big deal. I think mine's like 300 lumens. It's the Surefire M300 knockoff, and it works just fine. I do run a IR device and a visible green laser device. For CQB stuff, I have nods, so I can use that. A lot of dudes dump on visible lasers. They have very specific reasons being there. If you're doing some sort of show of force, like you don't want to have to wax a dude or whatever, for whatever reason, you put that dot on their chest and that's going to send a clear signal like, okay, that's pretty much your last warning. So that works really well. And then in a later video, we'll go over it more in depth. But when you're working with other guys stacked up in a team, a lot of times, like at least me and him, we don't talk. I mean, we know each other that well to where it's going all off of body language and stuff. But when you wave off on a door, that visible laser helps. The muzzle device that I use the Strike Industries Venom, or as we call it, the tuning forks. Ping, ping. They, as far as signature reduction, it works amazing. And then you can outfit it with the oppressor, which we use if we're shooting indoors near one another.
Your buddy will thank you.
In the last video, we talked about running setups like pretty slick down here, and I thought about it, and I did a couple of reps without anything on here, and I will say that as far as running pressure switches and IR devices where you need to pivot and move your hand to different buttons, I like having this little stubby here. It's just a Magpul foregrip that I chopped. I like having that there as an index point to where I can access, bless you.
Thank you.
Where you can access your buttons and you don't have to look, or you won't re-index your hand in the wrong spot. If I'm grabbing this, I know exactly where my shit's at. From there, I run a 4-power prismatic for my distance shooting, regular chevron, ACOG type BDC reticle, and then I have a solar red dot piggybacked on top that I run for up close stuff. Other than that, standard mil-spec safety and a mil-spec trigger, and this thing runs like a top. And this is my 10-second gun.
there's some similarities in between our setups, and there's some differences. You know, I run a Magpul grip too as well. Got a knockoff BCM.
Mine also shoots bullets.
Yeah, mine shoots bullets. This thing is a bullet slinger. I do have a Streamlight on top. I've got just a regular flash hider up here. I don't have any great tuning forks. Let me get that in camera real quick. No, I guess the main difference between us is I do run a magnifier and a red dot system, which I've just put on here. I'm still putting through the paces. I normally run an LVPO.
Now you run both of those on a riser, right?
I do, yeah. I like to get it up. That way my head's up. I'm not buried down deep. My peripheral vision's a lot better.
That's why we're trying to get Roman to sponsor us, because he likes to get it up.
Yeah. And deep. Don't let that fool you. And deep. I do have just a little hand stop here. I like what he said about the whole pivoting thing. You know, if I need to come in, I have a grab point. I use a C, you know, I shoot with a C-style grip on here. Run a bad lever. On this one, I do have a flat face trigger in here. It's the RAV 140. It's amazing. It breaks clean. Really, other than that, a few Ranger bands here and there. They're also great fire starters. They do keep your stuff well secured. It's not a shout out or anything like that. Something I do want to talk about that most people don't. I use paracord to attach my sling here. It's quiet. I don't have the rattling around. I don't have anything to give away my position. It's always there. Always keep a bunch on me anyway. But, you know, if I use this, there's nothing clinking or clanking around while I'm trying to do sneaky shit.
Yeah.
So,
and our attachment points to our slings are about the same spot.
Yeah.
Like we've talked about it before. Having the same question, getting the same answers from different routes.
Yeah.
It just validates it that much more. And it's not like I call him and be like, hey, put this here, put this here.
No. It's 3 years of just trial and tribulation of using different things. You know, like I said, I've used the LVPO for the last couple of years. I have gone back to a red dot system. This is just a 3 times magnifier flipped side. It's also up with it. You know, I think the biggest thing we can take away is there are a lot of similarities, but we live in the same geographical area to where our stuff makes sense. Yeah. That's the biggest thing that I'd like to give on this presentation and this little sit-down powwow is make sure that you can use it for your mission.
Yeah, we've got enough rounds through both of these systems and the way they're set up that you might, you know, we have other ARs, we have other guns, but like if your house was on fire and you had to leave right then and there, you have 10 seconds. Gun? Yeah, you have 10 seconds. What's your favorite gun?
Which gun are you taking and not your kid?
So we've got enough rounds on both of our setups that there is no shadow of a doubt in our mind that we can hit what we're aiming at. And it's not like boasting or bragging. It's just like we personally can feel convicted like, yeah, I'm good to go with that setup. It's just muscle memory. And so that's the whole concept of this video that we're trying to get across is like, don't slip into, oh, I need a GPR, I need an SPR, I need a DMR, I need some R&R. Like all that stuff. Don't build it to that. Build it to what's in your area, what your needs are, and then like once it's perfect, then just leave it alone. Yeah. That's your 10-second gun. When your house is on fire and you have to leave right then and there, and doo-doo has hit the fan, you may or may not come back, and you need to preserve your life and your family's life. It's the gun you don't think about. You just grab it and go, and you know that it'll do work.
Yeah, and if I can give y'all one takeaway on it is just proficiency. Get out there, train, get familiar, know your holds, know what you're doing, and be able to get out there, feel comfortable with it, and have fun.
Yeah, so this video, we're trying to make it funny with good information download for the everyday man. As our HR has directed us.
Shout out to HR.
Shout out to HR. there's certain things that apparently we can and cannot make fun of now.
Yeah.
One of those being excessive sexual noises. And if there's anything that we've learned in the industry that we've been in for this long, that if there is ever a stupid rule, then there was a person to create that rule. So we just want to personally say, whoever that was on YouTube that had so many sexual noises in their video that they had to come out and say, stop it. We just want to say thank you and keep on fighting the good fight. You're doing the Lord's work.
If y'all can find him for us, that'd be great, because we want to subscribe.
Hey, are you shitting? Why are you behind the couch? He wants to say something.
These words brought to you by Roman. And if you don't like and subscribe this video, I'm going to come through that camera and naughty chop you in the neck.
I did not see that coming. That was good.